Hey everybody, it's your boy Thomas.
Hello.
And I'm London. And today we're talking about the second omnibus of The Question by Denny O'Neil and Dennis Cowan, and also a bunch of other people, because half of this is the question after the question.
Yes.
So let's just jump right into it, unless you've read anything else.
Maybe, I don't know. Let's not focus on it.
Okay.
I don't think I've probably read some comics here or there, but I don't recall.
If you were reading this. So half of this is the probably issues
like the last
25 to 36.
Yeah.
Where everything is just shitty. I think The Question and the world of The Question is maybe one of the most tragic things I've read in comics. Because, like, everything just gets worse.
Yeah.
Myra, she is mayor throughout this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't able to fix anything, pretty much. She's trying her darndest. But everyone's just corrupt and evil.
Yeah.
The Question literally gives up and goes to live in the jungle.
Yes, he does.
And I can't really blame him. Everything's just horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I didn't go out and buy the physical for this.
Okay.
So I ended up reading a online fan-made omnibus version of this.
Okay.
I looked at the listing of what was supposed to be in it, and I think it was all there.
So you had 36, and then there's a Question quarterly. There's 5 of those.
Yes. So, but when I read it, it was fucked up, I think.
Okay.
Because it started off with wasn't the Green Arrow, but it was like, oh God, some random hero that I hadn't heard
Azrael?
of. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it started off with the Azrael issue, then it did a couple Green Arrow annuals, and then it was the 5 issues of
Quarterly.
And then it gave me the mini series with the Butcher.
Okay.
And then it gave me the remaining issues of the...
So it just put it at the end?
Yeah, but then at the very end, it gave me...
The Question Returns?
No.
Did you read The Question Returns?
No. It wasn't in there.
Okay.
I read the second annual, though.
Okay. Well, we'll just talk about it in order, and you can remember. There's a book that Denny O'Neil wrote in 2007 with somebody. There was a one-shot of him returning to Hub City.
Oh.
You didn't read that one?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, I'll just tell you about it, because it was awesome and really sad.
It's in that omnibus?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to buy the physical to it. And I
was going to say, you can also just borrow it.
Well, I plan on buying it regardless, so because I have the first one.
So let's talk about the main issues first.
Yes. So yeah, the mayor wakes up, and it is chaos, and like just streets roaming around. So Hub City finally becomes like what I feel like Hub City should have been the whole time, like in the last 10 issues here.
What, fucking dog shit?
Yeah, because it's like the way that they described it, I envisioned like something like this, and most of the series it wasn't this, but it kind of built up to this. So I was like, okay. Because, yeah, like, in that final, like, couple issues, there's, like, the scene where it's, like, the dude, like, just, like, you got any change? I need to buy some, like, clothes for my baby here. And they're like, that baby's dead. He's like, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. And he just, like, tosses it in the trash. Like, shit like that just casually happening.
Yeah.
There's, like, also another scene where they're walking down the street and they've just left their car parked, and it's just a mob of people are, like, beating it up with, like, bats, and they're not even stealing it or anything. It's just like, okay, this is just chaos.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it kind of becomes that type of environment there at the end after the storm happens. And so Myra wakes up and decides that she's gonna like try and hire opposing Gaines to be like a civilian police force, essentially. But that doesn't work.
Yeah, really doesn't work.
Yeah, no. So
it's just like all out gang warfare.
Yep.
There's a doctor who's killing the gang members, right? Is that in this one? No, there was another doctor last time too.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes...
this one had... I don't think it was a doctor, but he was just like a random guy that was helping the question, but he's the one that killed one of the gang members. Or the leaders, because they killed his daughter or something.
Yeah.
And then the question's just like, I'm not a cop, I'm not a judge, and I know that you will judge yourself, or something. And then he walks away.
Yeah.
It's really funny, because like half of this omnibus, the question it's just Vic Sage. Like, he doesn't even put on the question costume. Maybe not half of it, but like, that entire 6-issue mini that we're going to talk about later, it's just not the question during it.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, there's really weird... I really like the question. I really like this character.
Yeah.
Because he's like struggling on if he even wants to be the question, and if he was ever not the question, kind of thing. Like, is that just him?
Yeah. No, I think, because at some point while I was reading the question, I don't think it's become like my favorite comic. Like, I think something like Animal Man still probably takes the cake on that, because I find Animal Man to be like more compact and consistent. Yeah. But like, I think just the broader scope of like Vic Sage as a character, I like a lot more. I really want to read. There's a 4-issue mini by Jeff Lemire in 2019 called "The Death of Vic Sage." The question, the death of Vic Sage. Okay, I was like, he didn't die in that one-off, did he? Because I heard I knew that there was a death arc for him. I don't know if it's permanent or what. Yeah, I really want to read that, and then I think it just finished or it's about to finish. They did the Batman question Green Arrow 4-issue mini. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Arcadia. That looks awesome.
Yeah, because that sounds like it could be interesting, because we didn't get a whole lot of Batman crossover in this. I was expecting maybe a little more, but he popped up only like once or twice. So mostly the Green Arrow. Yeah. Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I think Green Arrow is really... I'm really surprised at how good he is with crossovers. Like, yeah, I've read some of the Green Lantern Green Arrow stuff, and that's really good too.
I was going to say, every like time I've tried to read just normal Green Arrow, like my eyes glaze over, but if he's in a crossover, I find him to be quite a charmer. So I don't know what that is. Maybe I just need to find a really good Green Arrow run or something, but...
Freshwater Kills, everybody. Fourth volume of the newest run that just ended last year. Philip Kennedy Johnson's on another level with that. Okay. It's crazy. It's so good.
The 4th volume specifically?
Yeah, well, the first 3 are by Joshua Williamson, and it's a lot of Green Arrow family stuff. And like all of his side characters, and they're quite good. I really enjoy that. But that 4th volume, when Philip Kennedy Johnson took over, it's insane. No, it's not Philip Kennedy Johnson. It's Chris Condon.
Oh.
Batman and Robin was Joshua Williamson, and then got picked up by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and that arc is also insane. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Chris Condon, Green Arrow, crazy good.
I will have to try and remember that later. But yeah, I just really like the question. These last like 10 issues finally were like starting to get into stuff that I had kind of been wanting from the like middle section of the series a lot, which I guess could maybe equate to me thinking if I were to read it all in like one consecutive stretch, maybe the middle might have a bit of a sag period. It'd be hard. It's hard to tell because I read all that like 2 months ago or whatever it was, but especially because the way I fucking dived into it, because I was like reading it, I'm like, all right, Vic Sage is in the jungle with Myra's daughter. I don't remember this. They might have set this up last time I read, but I was very confused, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just go with it. But I figured it out somehow, I think.
But yeah, it's just the city's getting worse and worse no matter what Myra does.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what Vic Sage does. And eventually he goes crazy.
Yeah, because they point out that, like, he's basically just kind of been, like, stagnating and not, like, keeping up on any of his, like, meditative practices, which is something we brought up on the last review, I remember. So, like, that becomes, like, an actual plot point in the story, which I was very glad to see. And they kind of, like, brought back Lady Shiva in the story, and she had been around in, like, crossovers and stuff, and I was kind of, like, underwhelmed with what they had done with her character there. But here in the actual run, like, I felt like they had actually, like, delivered on her character, like I had been wanting them to in the story, which was nice. Because, like, she had just such, like, a kind of, like just such a, like, an ethereal vibe in those, like, early issues where, like, she really just felt like a character outside of Vic's level and was, like, kind of, like, stringing him along towards wherever he needs to go. And that sort of, like, just disappeared from the story after a certain point. So it was nice to kind of, like, see that dynamic. Yeah. But yeah. And I'm glad that they kind of, like, landed on the acknowledgement that, like, yeah, the whole, like, cape format just is, like, bad for this character, Vic Sage, in general. And it's like, yeah, the natural path is gonna be, like, it leads to his death if he just keeps on going down it.
Reminds me of, if I talked to you about the Vigilante run.
The Vigilante run? No.
About the character Vigilante from, like, Peacemaker and...
I don't...
Yeah,
maybe?
His run, he had a 50-issue run in the 80s, and he's kind of like a gritty, like, character, and I've read, like, 15 issues of it. It's quite good. I'm really enjoying it, but famously, the final issue, he kills himself.
Oh.
It's, like, the same thing. It's like,
damn.
There's an era in the 80s and early 90s comics that, like, maybe being a hero will just make you want to die.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It was definitely, like, a evolution point in culture where, like, comics were probably starting to more explore the kind of darkness that they were tapping into in the 70s. So, coming off of the Silver Age campiness of the 60s and whatnot. But, yeah. Yeah, no, there is a lot of dark, bleak kind of stuff in the comic zeitgeist from that era for sure. I mean, it is the same era that gave us, like, because this is like what, 1990, so it's like,
no, I think the end of this was like 91. Real cusp of late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, so makes sense.
So eventually he, like, kind of goes crazy and he recovers from it, but he's just like, I had an epiphany. I'm fucking leaving Hub City.
Yeah. So he tries to convince Myra to leave with him, and what's her daughter's name?
Jackie, I think?
Yeah. So they're gonna take Jackie and Tot and leave with what's it called? Pilot guy. Or not pilot guy. Wheelchair guy.
Richard Dragon!
Yeah, Richard. Who comes back and
we should read Richard Dragon.
Oh, he's like an actual.
Yeah, he's Richard Dragon, Kung Fu Master.
I didn't realize he was like a.
I don't remember them saying Richard Dragon on the first one. I think they just said Richard.
Yeah.
So I don't think I realized that until this omnibus. Maybe it was even like
I don't know if I've ever come across Richard Dragon in anything before. If I have, I don't recall.
Richard Dragon, Kung Fu Fighter. Richard Dragon, yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
He was in a Batman movie.
He was?
In an animated one.
Oh.
It was really bad. And Denny O'Neil made him.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I was going to say, oh, Denny O'Neil's like...
That's where Lady Shiva first shows up, too. She's a Richard Dragon character.
Okay, I knew that she was like a bit like in other DC stuff. But...
I think she's a Richard Dragon character.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe she shows up somewhere else. I don't know very much about Richard Dragon. I'm so sorry, everybody.
We're going to have to learn at some point, I guess.
Well, eventually we'll have read every comic book.
Yes.
Give us 10 years.
Yeah, once we become a comic exclusive show.
No, thanks.
Yeah. But, what's it called? But yeah, and then he leaves, and then I guess that sets up the next chunk.
Yeah, which is the 5 quarterlies. They stopped it at 36. The question ends with him abandoning his city, and Myra decides not to go right at the last minute, and goes, no, take her. I need to stay. I need to help the city.
Yeah.
Also, the next time you see it, it's just worse again.
Yeah. Also, that last issue of the question is a Christmas special, so you can, in theory, binge the question every Christmas.
It's true.
It would technically count.
It's just a weird final issue. I like it. I think it's just like everybody loses. Like, Jesus Christ, brother. And then they switched it to quarterly. So for about a year and a half, it was only 5 issues quarterly. But for about a year and a half, they would publish the question in bigger formats. And these are kind of standalone stories where one of them, the daughter of Myra, fucking dies.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad decision. I mean, I thought Myra having like this daughter was kind of a strange, like, it seems like an interesting decision, but then she just kind of becomes like a liability and a what do we do with this character? And I think that they probably could have milked it for a bigger like liability in her like mayoral pursuits. But it seemed like the writer, was it still Denny writing the quarterly? Or was it someone
I think
else?
so.
Yeah, because it just seemed like he just was like, I kind of regret creating this character and I just kind of need to get rid of it. So and I ended up kind of like fridging her in a sense.
Yeah, and I get that. I do think that like it feels like Hub City is cursed and everyone that's in Hub City is cursed no matter where they go. So I thought that at least that made it just feel like this totality of evilness that is stemming from Hub City.
I could maybe take that if they explored that theme a little more, but it feels like they don't really ever leave Hub City enough in the narrative.
And the problem is, I think these quarterlies are good. I like all 5 stories, but I think that they needed to be like 100-page specials or something. Like, I think that what they're trying to do in each issue doesn't quite get fulfilled to the fullest extent I want. I like all of these issues. And I think that issue where she dies is powerful, to me at least. It just maybe 2 issues of the quarterly.
Yeah, because I really
Or if that had been, if she was slowly dying throughout the entirely of the quarterly and the 5th one she dies.
Yeah, because like I really like the story of like that guy showing up and being like, I ran into Richard. He says I have to defeat you.
Was it Marco?
I think his name was Marco, yeah. And I really like it seemed like he was going to be another regularly occurring cast, like maybe a bodyguard for Myra in the future or something.
Especially because he has like a crush on her.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, like this, I'm liking this character, but like, because he just shows up and he's like, I gotta fight you, Vic Sage. And Vic Sage is like, well, I gotta go deliver this girl to Hub City and I don't have any money and I gotta get there. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna protect you so I can fight you. And it's like a fun dynamic, but like I almost feel like it should have been like maybe set aside for like a less serious story.
Yeah, because they
like fleshed out more in a fun one or something.
Yeah, which at the same time I'm just like, there aren't really any fun question stories in this back half. Well, like nice, fun, that kind of...
It's definitely like a darker half of the story for sure.
Yeah, so I do think that it does start to suffer towards the quarterlies, and then I think the Azrael issues kind of just like whatever. I like Azrael fine. I haven't read a lot of Azrael, but it's just kind of a whatever issue. Did you read there was a little special, I think it was probably a backup story from somewhere, where he returns to the orphanage?
Yes.
It was like maybe 8 pages. It wasn't.
Yeah, the childhood kid was robbing it and then the nun. Which, yeah, because I got to that and I was like, yes, we're here. I'm finally gonna learn about Vic and the orphanage. And
then it's nothing.
Yeah.
I think it was a fine enough little story.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, all you have is questions. The question.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, so it must be from a different run. Or is it...
Maybe it's never. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was like, is it in that one issue
No,
I didn't read?
No.
God, my luck, it would be. But, okay. Oh,
And then there was the 6-issue mini with Green Arrow, The Question, and The Butcher.
yeah, which I thought that one had its moments, but I wasn't super... I don't think I was a big fan of that one overall. I don't think it needed to be 6 issues.
I don't think so. I also think that I've read a little bit of Mike Grell's Green Arrow, and I enjoy his writing for Green Arrow, but I think there are multiple moments in this issue or this series where it's 2 white guys written by a white guy going, "The Butcher, don't you realize that this is," or Mr. Byron, don't you realize that this is what the white... I'm like, okay, guys, you don't need to do this multiple times. It's...
Yeah, and some of the way that they'll just blatantly, like, state, like, how they perceive, like, the oppression of Native American culture just kind of felt like a bit clinical and just kind of like poorly done. I don't know how. Like it felt like it was coming from the right place, but just at a time where it wasn't like fleshed out or.
And I think it comes from the idea that I think that we want more nuance these days, and in this era, maybe it was just like we got to be as blunt as possible to get this point across. And I get that. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be 6 issues. I think it could have been 4.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the Butcher as a character.
Me neither. But he seemed okay.
Yeah, but that's the same thing, though. Like, I feel like it's mostly a Green Arrow Question book. Yeah. And even then, it's mostly a Green Arrow book. Yeah. Like, the question's not even in the first issue of this.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's decent, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the quarterly where he's in the jungle, and he's, is it Myra's kidnapped? Not Myra. Jackie's kidnapped. And he has to go kill somebody else. And then it turns out to be like the same guy dressed as a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good issue.
I think there's some really powerful moments of it.
Yeah. I thought it was, yeah.
But that's the same thing as I really like that issue, but want it to be longer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like any of those issues would have been better as like a 2-parter or like a 3-issue miniseries or something.
I agree, because it definitely like felt like there was some weight to like Vic crossing that line for the first time, but it almost felt like it should have been like a bit more dramatic in a sense. I don't know. It's just like my intuition on it, though. Like how I felt in my gut when I was reading it. Like it felt like a little underwhelming for like the amount of like issues where it was like, I can't kill. It's like I get it, but it was just like, it kind of just felt like the most. And although I do think it's kind of like a really bitter note in a really like good literary way, but like obviously very sad that like he does like cross that line.
And then he kind of wants to do it again.
Well, but like he crosses the line to save a life that in the next issue she gets sick and dies.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that the quarterlies, and maybe I would feel differently if I was reading this quarterly. Like, if I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for the day. What are him and Jackie gonna get up to in the jungle? And then I'm like, she's sorry.
Yeah. That would probably upset you more than anything if you had all that time to be like, I can't wait. The potentials are limitless, and they're done. Or she's dead. Okay. So, yeah.
There's so many things I wish, like, reading singles is hard. Collecting singles is annoying sometimes, but sometimes that tempo of a book and having that, month in advance or like year, sometimes it's a yearly, like an annual or a quarterly, it does feel crazy cool.
No, I get it. I've read stuff, like manga and stuff that come out like monthly, and I've been reading One Piece weekly for years.
Yeah. I think I'm 2 behind right now.
2 volumes? Or chapters?
Chapters.
Oh, nice. Yeah, shit's getting crazy.
But yeah, John Butcher.
Yeah.
And then The Question Returns came out in 2007. And then he is... Tot calls him. He's... So you would see this, I think, in one of the last issues of The Question Quarterly, but he's like... He's not a reporter anymore. He's just...
He gets hired by, like, a piece of shit guy.
And then he... but then afterwards, he's literally just gambling for his job.
Oh,
and then in The Question Returns, he's gambling on a riverboat or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he gets a call from Tot being like, I need you to come back to Hub City. Myra killed someone.
Oh, shit.
And the whole idea is like, she killed someone. She's on the run from the cops. And he's like, I can't do this. I can't go back. She made her choice. But he's the Question. He's Vic Sage. He loves her. Mm-hmm. So he does go back. And he's wearing his Question costume. He gets arrested and he gets visited by a spirit. The river spirit. And it's this old black man who's like playing the harmonica or something.
Okay.
And he's just like, there's a line where he's like, who was that guy in the cell next to me? And the police guy's, what do you mean? You're the only one here tonight. And he literally looks at us and through the panel goes, no. We're not doing this. Too corny. Yeah. But then he puts on his coat and he's like, I reverse my jacket to make it feel more like The Question. He's trying to return to his roots. And he pretty much fights his way back into Hub City. And it turns out that there's like a evil billionaire there who's bought the police and the judges, and he's framed Myra for that murder.
Nice.
So he's pushing his way through. He's fighting everyone to return to his beloved and save her. And he breaks through the door where she is, and there's a guy there with a gun, and he like punches him, and he's like, "Stop! You can't do this!" And she's like, "Wait, stop! That's Billy!" And he's like, "Who the hell's Billy?" And she's like. And it's her boyfriend. And he's just like, oh. And she was okay. She has a new, like, person to protect her or be with her. And he just kind of goes, and she's like, it's been 3 years. Like, I thank you, but I'm okay. And he just kind of walks out to the dock and just kind of stares off into space. And then the issue ends. That was his grand return.
Wonderful.
It's just it just makes you feel bad.
Well, I'm glad I had the misfortune of skipping that one.
It is a good issue. I really like it. And the art's pretty good. Sometimes that mid-2000s art can really grind my gears, but I thought it was pretty good and evocative of Dennis Cowan stuff. It wasn't Dennis Cowan that drew it, though.
Yeah.
And in general, I like Dennis Cowan's art in this. Not a huge fan of some of the side stories of the artists they hired for that.
Yeah.
And I will say that going into this omnibus, because so many other people worked on it, it was a lot more jarring jumping in between stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I'm fine with them switching artists, but there wasn't like a consistent artist for a lot of these. Like,
yeah, I feel it.
But yeah, I think The Question Returns is like, if I was reading that in the 80s or in the 90s and then 16 years later that came out, it's another one I'd just be like, man, they're so mean to Vic Sage. Yeah. It's so funny because you watch the Justice League cartoon and he's just like this funny guy.
Yeah.
And he makes quips in this.
Yeah, but he's got some snark, but yeah.
It's just a downer of a book.
Yeah.
Kids weren't ready for the downer of this.
No, it's like you got like The Dark Knight Returns, which is super kind of triumphant in a weird, desolate way. And then you got The Question Returns. And it's like, what is this? So sad. But yeah, I fucking really like The Question. I really like Vic Sage as a character. I feel like they need to like just take the highlights of all of like this run and subsequent runs and just do like a really solid like 3-season TV show. I feel like that'd be really good.
And this is one of those characters that you could do animated or you could do live action pretty easily. Like, yeah, it's a pretty grounded series.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You could film it live action for cheap. You could make it black and white, be even cheaper.
And people will watch it. Spider Noir is doing really well.
I still need to watch it.
And it was filmed in black and white. And they painted the sets to make it look good in black and white. They, like, did the work.
Nice.
And then they did a weird Nick Cage was like, there should be a color version as well because the kids won't watch it. But the coloring technique is really interesting. Like, it looks interesting because it looks like almost ethereal because it's fake color.
Yeah. Like the old process. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the question is really good. I think Myra's just, I said I liked her character in the last one, but I think she's such an interesting character because she's also constantly making the wrong decisions. Like when she tries to hire these like thugs and gang members, but she's always doing it in a place where she's genuinely trying to save this city that unfortunately she loves.
Yeah.
Or wants to make better. There's a line in, I think it's The Question Returns, where she's talking to Billy and she's just like, yep, nothing I did as mayor has made a difference. Everything's wrong. I've tried so hard to help people, to help society, and it's these big guys that just keep coming in with money that are ruining the city. And she's like, and the thing is, if I had to do it all again, I would. Because I care. And it's just a really, she's exceptional. I really like her character.
Yeah.
I like Tot in the first Omnibus. He's like barely in this one.
Yeah.
I think Izzy O'Toole's like a really interesting character too. There's a part in one of the it's right before the end of the series where somebody steals the Question's gear because he like has a panic attack and is like dying on the streets.
Like his existential
and he's like killing people and robbing them as the Question. And Izzy's like, okay, he went bad. That means I can go back to being bad.
Yeah, it's an interesting seeing how he's just kind of is like looking for permission almost.
And then he decides pretty much on his own to not. And then he realizes that wait a minute, this guy can't be the Question.
Yeah.
And I do think like, if you're going to have like a corrupt cop as a character, he's maybe the most interesting one I've ever seen.
Yeah, I wish that they would have dived into him more. Maybe they do in other Question media, but
I think we've read a lot of it. I think that Renee Montoya as a Question, from what I've read, I really like her as the Question as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to check that out.
She had a 6-issue mini recently when the big Justice League reboot happened, where it's something's going on wrong in the Watchtower, which is their big spaceship or space station, and she's trying to figure out what's going on up there. And it's pretty good. It ties a lot into the other stuff, so it's kind of better if you read the other stuff as well, but
yeah.
Right when that Justice League series started, there was a bunch of mini-series. There was a Challengers of the Unknowns mini that is insanely good. And it's funny because the main Justice League Unlimited run is fine. But everything surrounding it, all the minis, were so good.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think this book is worse than the first one. Because the minis just were like fun. That mini was good enough. But everything in here is good to great to me still. And I think The Question Returns is fantastic. And I think that end of the run, even though it ends on a point where I'm just like, what? Is still very good.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think that it seemed like it was kind of a sudden having to close on that main run. And I think like compared to like something like Sleepwalker, which honest to God, tried its best to wrap up its big story plot points in a nice compact little bone. I think the nice benefit that The Question has is that like it's got a lot more like existential themes that aren't like so necessarily like stewed in a big plot that's going on outside of like Myra's battle against the city along with The Question. So they were able just to kind of be like, oh, we can like wrap this up in like 2 issues.
Yeah.
So, like, I think for it being that the main run wraps up pretty nicely, and you get, like, a decent little peppering of the minis work pretty well. I like the quarterlies quite a bit. I think the other, like, crossovers with, like, Azrael and Green Arrow and Butcher kind of take or leave. And, you know, if you want more Question, I think they'll scratch that itch enough, but you won't necessarily get everything you want out of The Question out of those issues and those stories. But yeah, somewhat, like it still kind of taps into it a little bit. But yeah, I think that overall I'd agree that this omnibus wasn't as strong as the first one, but it also was like half of the content of that consistent creator, so that makes sense. But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
And if you want like a darker look at heroes and the cities they inhabit, I think this is a much better recommendation than some of the like just edge slop, as I like to call it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because I think that there is like a core of humanity here and like love for people that is not there in a lot of those other things.
Yeah, that, and it, like, genuinely, it just tries to, like, logically look at kind of like, I mean, I think every superhero tries to, like, have an angle on, like, society to a certain extent, especially, like, the, like, idea of, like, good and evil behind it. And I think that the question takes, like, a really interesting approach to that. And like, you know, sometimes you feel like there's always like just a really big answer that the heroes are like right on the verge of. But I feel like with the question, it's more or less like he doesn't even, it's like he's searching for the question to ask to find that answer. Yeah. So it's like really nice, just kind of like take on it that kind of like elevates it above like just kind of feeling like your standard stock noir type cape.
I'm kind of baffled that this isn't a bigger character.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, it probably could have been, but I think honestly Watchmen came and stole the W. Just because everyone was like...
Now that I've read all of this, I just need to sit down and finally read Watchmen.
It's a good read. It's a good read.
And I know I own it somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably where W's are.
Yeah, it's really good. He's definitely like way crazy. Like it almost feels like it could be like the question after all this shit goes down. Because yeah, he definitely like goes off. Rorschach's like definitely off the deep end a little bit, but he's a fun character.
Because I also want to read Mr. A. It's a I don't even know. Yeah, he's in like a couple of books, but it was Steve Ditko's character that he made before the question. And then when he put it in the DC universe, or Charlton Comics, he changed it. He made a character that was a little less edgy. I think Mr. A is like pretty intense.
Oh, okay. I see.
And then he made Blue Question, who showed up in Blue Beetle. I want to read that original Question stuff too.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about it.
And I also want to read that original Blue Beetle stuff. So I'm hoping they're going to release them in one of those format ones, the DC Finest, those big books. So.
I know that I plan on picking them up, but they're doing some of the Batman, Denny O'Neil, and those DC Finest. So...
Yeah, I'm going to need to read that as well. Denny O'Neil's just insane as a writer, genuinely.
Yeah, he's good. And I know that even before we got into the question, he'd been on my radar just because I wanted to read those old, like, Ra's al Ghul Batman stories from the 70s, so...
All right, are we going to read another comic next time? What are we going to do, Thomas?
Nope, we're reading Crime and Punishment.
What a great double feature.
I know.
All right. Crime and Punishment by, what's his name? Dostoevsky.
Yeah. Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
Dostoevsky. I don't know how.
Dostoevsky. That's right. Yeah. I think. From 1866, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. I never read it. You read it?
No, but I feel like
I probably was supposed to read it in high school and didn't.
Yeah. I feel like in terms of like the stuff I like, Dostoevsky is like, I feel like he's like a big rock that just everything I like goes around and circles around. And I feel like I should have more exposure to him. And Crime and Punishment's like the big one. I really want to read, I see a lot of stuff on the brothers Karamazov, or however you pronounce it nowadays. And I want to read that one, but that one I know is a bit more out there. So I figured to get acclimated to his style a little bit with Crime and Punishment. Which is most accessible. So.
Sweet. We'll do that, and we'll see you next time on another exciting episode of We Read a Book.
Yeah.